Hey, how's it going? My name's Sephiros, and today, this is kind of like a part two of my Ableton template video that I just made, and I figured I'd just come on here and make a beat to show the template in action. So I'm gonna need to switch this, and here's the template. So we got drums and all kinds of stuff. So where do I like to start? Well, sometimes I like to start outside the template. I don't know why. First thing that comes to mind is a granulator 2. I find this device to be such a wellspring of cool ideas. And what I'm going to do here, I'm grabbing the MIDI Fighter Twister. This is a wonderful set of 16 knobs. So one thing I really like when I'm making a beat, especially if I don't want to screw around too much and I just want to get right to the beat, right to the point, just write the beat, maybe a hip-hop beat, I like to start with a sample. So I'm going to go in to my melodic samples. All right, here we have melodic marimba loops. Yep, I've used this one before, but no problem using it again, especially if we're using granulator 2. So there's so many things you can do with the granulator 2. For instance, mapping the grain size and the file position and the spray to a couple knobs. And all of a sudden you have this little device you can like pan around through. So it's like when you have a couple knobs, it really makes all the difference, gesturally speaking. And then, granulator is great for drones, but I've done that before, so I want to do something different. I'm always looking to try something new. I don't know if I have used arpeggiator, but not too much. But I think arpeggiator might be cool. So maybe we group this and put another chain, and then let's use this selector to blend between the dry and the arpeggiator, and then get a random. Actually, let's split these by velocity. And we'll split these by velocity and we'll get a random velocity plugin and put it before. Oh, I'm sorry. Get this true random preset and boom, randomness. Then all we need is a single MIDI note. The root pitch of the root pitch is at C3 for playing the pitch back of the sample at its normal pitch. So that's me just playing. We're on polyphonic, so with the arpeggiator, we could go up an octave. And let's try that. Yeah, so that's fun to interact with, that random with the playing of the knobs. So what I'm going to do is sample some random messing about. Where is the track? 22, granulator. Record, and I am going to just... You know, it might be interesting, I'm not quite sure, but it might be interesting to record this automation. I don't know why, but I'm just getting the vibe that I should do that. So I'm going to record arm the automation and then this audio channel and turn the audio channel off and record. Well, I just realized that we were just looping, so we just lost all the automation except for this last piece here. But regardless, we have some new audio that's a bit longer. I like to have a long piece of audio usually to start a beat these days. And just taking 15 minutes or whatever to make a quick randomized kind of textural thing out of that is pretty nice. So I am just going to cut this up by looking at the wave. So just look at the waveform, cutting it up. Think that might be cool. That looks nice. Okay, that should be good enough. Maybe cut this in half. Yeah, so now we have a bunch of audio samples. We can get Ableton Sampler out. And boom, put it in there. And then we can take all these, and it'll put the entire long sample into the sampler, but it'll put it in this many times, I believe. Maybe you have to drag it in the zone. Boom. So now we have all those inside a sampler, which is cool. And we can split them by, let's do velocity. I'm going to just select them all, which they are, and distribute ranges equally. So now we have a velocity ramp of different samples to choose from. And what this will enable us to do is use a Live 11 feature that I'm fond of, where you use the new MIDI. I'm going to mute this. In the new MIDI roll, we have random velocity range, which is neat. So I could just play a C3, which is the original pitch of the sample. And say these, every other one, how about, oops, what, every other one gets a random range. Oh, shizzle. Every other one of these gets a random range of what sample it's going to play. So that's our rhyme scheme, right? Just every other one is a random one. And then we can select all these and change the velocity and just select a different sample. I'm digging that. That has kind of a hip-hop vibe to it, which I'm digging. So I'm going to put that in the sidechained group of the tonal upper. And boom, it's all in there, sidechained up, ready for drums. So I could go and just figure out what pitch that is of the root note. I'm going to get my subwoofer out. It's a bit flat. It's a bit flat. I'm going to detune it up, and this is affecting all the samples at once, I believe. Let me make sure. So let's look at the detune. Yeah, this is the global detune. If I want to adjust the detune of the specific sample, I can select it and do it here. So it's still not quite. It sounds a bit better, but it's a C. So let's try going to an E note. Moved the wrong MIDI. I was trying to move this. I'm going to try to put this into E minor. Okay, so global, pitch. So we're getting a bit of clipping here on the not bass, I think. So I'm going to get a utility. Just turn it down a bit. Alright, so we're at 152, and I like that rhythm. I have some hats here, but I also have, I'm going to put this in my secondary percussion, break. I've been really digging breaks. I have some breaks that I doctored up. They're classics in the 2022 folder. Breaks. Alright, so I have an idea for this. Going on a side tangent. What if we put all these breaks, because they're all at the right tempo, 152. I can now go into these, and I think I can select them all and go into the follow action. Oh. Here we go. Follow action, turn it on. And then let's do other, which is a random. And then over here, let's do play again. And let's do 50%. And let's launch trigger. And I don't know what legato does. Let's see. Firing a clip in legato mode takes over the play position for the previously playing slot in that track, if any. Yeah, that's what I want. Quantization, what is that? This is the clip quantization settings. When set to global, the clip will use the global quantization set in control bar. Any setting other than global or none will quantize a clip's launch when it is triggered. All right, that doesn't matter at this point because I just want to hit play. I have to solo this, and I have to go through all these clips real quick. It won't take too long. I just have to shorten this loop because I have to change the start position, shorten the loop up a bit. You know, I need the more interesting parts of the break on some of these. I need some of them to start on a snare. Maybe one of them loops really short. Like this. You know, just switching it up a bit. Because these are all going to randomly play. And then I just want to sample the overall output of the channel on the other side of Ableton. I hope this doesn't sound horrible. Some of them I can just let play. Well, actually, I don't want them to play the whole time. It's like too much. Maybe half a bar. Maybe 3/4 of a bar. Maybe that much of a bar. Maybe just this cool part. This looks like a cool part. That looks even cooler. What? Alright, only a few more to go. Trust me. I saw this on an EEPROM stream. It works. It'll work. That looks like it just play that, but less of it. And don't expect this to be like sounding perfect, because I want this to be like reprocessed after. This is just the generative step of the process, but in a second I'm going to try to rein it in a bit to make some fills for some simple beat. I think that might work, so let's try this now. Yep, that's exactly what I wanted. So I will take the audio from audio from into audio, record. I'm gonna just record. I have to put this on auto. I have to record over here. Wait, why isn't it working? There's something going. Oh, is this because it's soloed? What the fridge? Why isn't this? What the has? Hut the Wes. Alright, what if I just record it over here? Wait. What is all this? Is this that? It's a cool loop, but can I sample the same channel with itself? Jeez, I haven't done this in so long. It's like... Alright, that's enough of that. So now I have some drums. So quick tip with the glue compressor, if you just want to clip the hell out of this thing, but you don't want it to sound weird, oversampling mode in the right click at the top of the menu, and then reduce the range, and that'll allow it to clip because it won't be trying to compress. So you can see we're really heavily clipping this glue compressor. Like that yellow light's on the whole time. And this is a dynamic 808. It has quite a bit of release here. It's a straight ramp down. So and then just boosting up some of that noise after it with the EQ. Nothing crazy. So what's up with this? All right, now that there's spaces, I can hear that there's a longer phrase there. So what I'm going to do is, the nice thing about having a template here is you can just close it up and easily look at it all. So I'm going to start with 4 and change the second 2 here, these two. What if we pitch these around? Like, what if I actually, instead of an octave, what if I pitched them up as a 5th? Nope, that sounds bad. What if we select different velocity for these? I think we have to change the rhythm a bit. So I'm feeling like there needs to be another little sub element. And I've been enjoying making sub elements out of weird stuff. So I made one earlier out of a clave So I recorded this clave. And I just thought that sounded so cool. Such a weird sub to use. So what if we put that, like reverse it into this hit? Yeah, I like that. But maybe a little bit more of it, actually. I feel like I need to pitch it up a bit. What if we saturate it? Get the old M saturate. Automate that gain. And then get clean at the end, right? Then maybe a laser. Oh, you know, actually a tom. I think if you stretch a tom. Yeah, here's a modular tom. Could maybe make some weird sub out of this. Yeah, that's nice. Let's pitch that down. Kind of like that. But it doesn't have enough pitch. What if we just draw a pitch envelope on it? Yeah, that's good. So then render that. Reverse it. Yeah, that's what I was wanting. So one of these for right here. I'm always looking to duplicate effects that already have modulation and then just move the modulation so that we can just move this over so that it gets that same. I'm gonna just M saturate this drum break. Yeah, that's a bit better. And I'm gonna change these. So damn, that's actually not a long sample. Did it not overdub? Alright, so I think this melodic upper tonal needs love. First thing, maybe a little OT tizzle. Sephiroth's chill OTT. Then maybe we do a little bit of the amperage. How crazy is that? The blues setting can add so much excitement to metallic sounds. It's incredible. I'm just going to drag these in to be triplets. And then just select these and double the length. And I'm going to do the same thing here with the hi-hats, but I'm going to try to drag it back instead. Like, and how I'm doing this is just by turning the triplet grid on and looking at it and being like, oh, okay. There we go. There it is. So I want that. And then maybe a few random like runs of stuff. Oh my god, not those. Not those either. Not these either. I'm going to do a little sampler edit here. I'm going to take this snare. Take this little nugget of audio and put it in this sampler. And I can put a little MIDI note. And then with this arpeggiator, just do a bit of a exponential automation. Oh, there's a beat. And I could keep going, but I'm sleepy. So yeah, that's making a beat with the Sephiroth template. Some techniques of deconstruction and reconstruction. And hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, it's surprising. There's surprising dynamics left, considering that I'm going through all those clippers. So let's just real quick see what kind of LUFS. Just because some folk might not know about LUFS and want to learn a little bit about LUFS. So LUFS is like an average loudness, and it measures the amount of loudness and gives you a number. And for some reason it's minus, for instance, like -7 LUFS. Like Spotify is like -14 LUFS. So if you give Spotify a 7 LUF, they'll make it 14 by turning it down, which may or may not be what you want. It's fine sometimes. But I should side note that, you know, if you want to be more precise, just measure the loudest drop of your track, which is kind of like what I just wrote. Like everything else writing this track is now just going to be like adding effects and making intros and stuff like that. But this is like the core. So I try to go straight for the drop if I don't have a lot of time and just get that core dance groove out. And then I can be like, okay, now I could add vocals or whatever, or like, you know, whatever I want. 10, it says 10 right here. If you don't measure your breakdowns, which are obviously a lot less loud, you get a more accurate representation of how loud your actual drop is. So. Alright, so obviously it's just a whip. Maybe the most pleasant mix, but it is 9 LUFS, and that beats the, that's plenty loud, especially for something like this, that's like supposed to be dynamic kind of sounding, more punchy. Like, you know, there's a lot of dynamic left in that signal, and that's loud enough for Spotify. That'll sound good next to other songs on Spotify. However, this track would probably sound quiet. But I am trying to achieve loudness in the mix as much as I can these days. So, you know, going in here and cranking on some of these wave shapers. Like this. You know, giving a couple dB to the input right here. You know, and each group will get me probably another 3 LUFS, and then I'll be at mastering volume and I won't even have to master the track anymore, which is the beauty of this bus mixing approach versus having separate groups all lined up like this and then sending all those groups to your master, which I think is like the old school way to use Ableton or whatever. So no more groups and groups. Just get used to it. It's a file system. It makes so much more sense. And yeah, it's literally just a filing system. I love it. Makes writing beats super quick. I don't know how long I've been streaming, but it doesn't feel like that long. Yeah, until next time, I'm Sephiroth. Checking me out on Patreon. You can get this template on Patreon, and samples, tons of samples, lessons, you know, anything you need. Hit me up on Patreon. And like and subscribe, comment down below any questions, I'll answer them, and yeah, peace. Thanks for watching.